Morning, everybody. All right, you're gonna have to excuse me if I'm a little groggy this morning. We're doing a film festival on April 25th, and we just got done a 15-hour photo shoot yesterday, so didn't get much sleep. So this is gonna be, I'm gonna change this up. Some of you, who've heard me maybe speak before, I typically speak on, mention or the great work our municipalities are doing and great work our rail's doing. Unfortunately for me, both of them are speaking today, so I'm going to change it up a bit. So part of my conversation I always have with people is why Salem, right? Why would you choose Salem County? The cost of doing business is cheaper in Salem. We have infrastructure here from rail, maybe highways, ports, and we're also working on a middle mile project, fiber optic ring to bring more internet to faster speeds to our hospitals, our schools, and our residents. That's a $34 million project. And the last reason why you choose Salem, we didn't plan this, was Dr. Dorman said that Salem Community College is middle named community. And I'll touch on that later about why would you choose Salem County for our community. We have great success stories in Salem. I was just talking to the mayor of Salem City this morning about Annandale Millworks, which is up in Mannington Mills. That was brought in from Choose New Jersey and NJEA. They started out with, I think, 25 jobs. We just had them on a panel in November for our leadership summit. They're at 50 jobs. I think their president says their goal in a year is 100 jobs there, and they're expanding like crazy. Well, we were down at their ribbon cutting. The interesting thing to me was that a lot of their employees rode their bikes up from Salem City to work there. The mayor said, 30% of the residents don't have transportation, so that's a big deal. They're supplying lumber for Habitat for Humanity. And that's what I mean, like a part of the community. If you're a good community partner in our county, we'll love you till the end of time. Just going over some of the infrastructure projects and the development that's going on over the last couple of years. So the county saw a 53% increase of GDP since 2023. The state of New Jersey, in comparison, saw an increase of 32%. So Salem is growing. Since 2018, we saw 4.62 million square feet of industrial development, 3.4 million under construction, and another 8.15 in the pipeline, million square feet. So, like I said, we are growing. In my opinion, I think it is growing and in some of the right places. A lot of that, thanks to Carney's point, it's all being done via our highways, so we can keep preserving our farmland to the county. One of the other things the county can offer, everybody always asks me, what can the county supply? To be very honest with everybody, not money. So we don't have grants that we give out. We'll help you facilitate with our state partners, with our nonprofits. If you're working on any development project, we'll be there every step of the way, however we can help. I'll let Jim talk later from SMS about what the rail line can do to help you if you're looking to have a project that's rail served. But the county's very supportive of rail. Like I said, any infrastructure project, we can do a lot of support for our renewal. The big thing I wanted to address today, and I think maybe some of the developers in the room might appreciate. On our website, we have choosesalem.com. We have a button right at the top. It's called Available Properties. Any available property that we are aware of that's either publicly listed or somebody mentions it to us is on there. It's like a Zillow for commercial property. So you own a vacant space that you're looking to market out to us, or out to the county, we can put that on there, whether it's for lease or purchase, choosesalem.com/available properties. And then last thing, to tie back into community, right? I address why being a good community partner is great in our county. If you're looking to develop something, just that's the best way I can help you succeed, is just being a good community partner. PSE&G Nuclear, Mannington Mills, now Annandale, all of them are great community partners. I just think back to when I wasn't alive then, but when the nuclear plant was built, nobody wanted that in the backyard. They're great community partners, and now they just advertise in one of our publications. It says PSE&G Nuclear, we're right in your backyard. So they're great partners to our Little Leagues, great partners to the community. That's what we're looking for in this county. And I'll be happy to talk to you all later and see how my office can help facilitate anything. Thank you all.
Since I was such a failure with the phone, Jennifer brought me a piece of paper. You heard Sean mention the rail, and at this time we'd like to have Jim Pfeiffer, Chief Operating Officer for SMS Airlines, come up to tell us, did you take the train here?
There's their return.
I'm hoping.
It's close. It's left.
Read that masterpiece.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everybody. So I spent the middle part of this week in Washington, D.C. The American Shoreline and Regional Railroad Association, we're a member. Well, this year is about 300 folks to meet congressional visits, visit with senators, talk about issues in the rail industry, try to advocate for modernization of our shoreline tax breaks, advocate against heavier trucks on the roads for safety reasons, obviously, and infrastructure reasons. And one thing I can say, we had about 300 meetings. I wasn't in all of them, obviously. I did about 7 or 8 myself. One of the things I can say is when the railroads show up, it's really bipartisan support. Everybody is supportive of community growth, economic growth, helping the shoreline and the rail industries grow and be able to pay for things. One of the interesting things and why it's so important that we do that, railroads own their own infrastructure. And trucks are running around on state and federal funded roads, and we own it, and we're responsible for the tracks that we own across. So those tax breaks, things like that all help. But back to the point, bipartisan support. Economic development is important everywhere. It's important from our community organizations all the way through the federal government. And with that bipartisan support, I was thinking, you know what? I think everybody loves trains because the government actually agrees on that, right? So I can officially say that everybody loves trains. And so it was great to see. It was a great time down there. We are SMS Rail, like Mike said. I'm Jim Pfeiffer. I'm the Chief Operating Officer. SMS Rail is a family-owned company. It's been around for 30 years, started in 1994. 3 guys answered an ad in the newspaper, essentially, looking for a rail carrier, a new rail carrier in Pure Land. 3 guys, about 4 miles of track, a few hundred rail cars interchanged a year. We've grown from that to 8 operations in 3 states, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York. We employ about 100 folks system-wide, and last year, actually, we did the numbers. I gave Jennifer a bad number, which was advertised. Our current interchange count is about 25,000 rail cars a year system-wide. So it's we're a big part of the national transportation system. If you don't really have an idea of what's the difference between a short line and a class 1, if you're even familiar with those terms. If you think of it like a tree, class 1, the Norfolk Southerns of the world, the CSX, the UPs, the BNSFs, there are 6 major class 1 carriers, 7 if we count the Mexican class 1 that comes up into Texas a little bit, in the United States. So they're like the trunk of a trade. There are class 2 railroads that are more regional. They tend to have more mileage, 400, 500, 600 miles. Then you have the short lines, that kind of the little branches of the tree that hold the leaves, first and last mile. That's us. we manage about 80 miles of track in those 3 states altogether. And we're really the community piece to the puzzle. We're, like I said, family-run business. We go to the Swedesboro Diner or Vesuvio every day for lunch, and like to interface with the folks with whom we do business, be good neighbors. We're not the big corporate class one that doesn't care and blocks crossings and everything like that. We're here to serve our customers and our community. And we're very proud to be in Salem County doing that and trying to revitalize that, the rail line. The rail line in Salem County is about 20 miles long at this point that we manage, from Swedesboro to the Port of Salem. When we took it over in 2021, it was impassable. Washouts, I hadn't seen a rail car on it for several years before it was over. Last year we had about 150 movements of rail cars, freight cars on that line. It's a good way to connect users in the county with, or I should say, manufacturers, shippers in the county with the international and national rail systems. I say international because part of what we do in Pure Land is work with the ports. Philiport, Eddystone, up to the Port of New York, Wilmington, Baltimore. We're providing accessibility to the world through Logan Township. And also Pilesgrove. We're developing in Pilesgrove our passenger station, and talking about the passenger side of things in a minute, but into a freight terminal as well. So we're seeing lumber from Canada come in, storing that. That's kind of the first piece of freight that's hit Pilesgrove with our transload, our logistics department. Rail cars come in from all over the country. We put them into ISO tanks, things like that. Shipping containers, truck them to the port, off they go for worldwide delivery, and vice versa. Stuff coming in from all over the world to the ports, bring it into Pure Land and bring it into Pilesgrove, get it onto trucks for local delivery, get it into rail cars for domestic delivery further away. So it's a way to connect everybody, and even if you have a manufacturing or a big use of one product, where you're seeing yourself getting 4, 5, 6 trucks a week and the same thing, it'd be worth investigating rail even if you're not next to a rail line. The rule of thumb is within about a 200-mile radius is a good radius. So if you can find a terminal within that 200 miles, I suggest us to bring in products by rail, put it on the truck, get it to you to find some savings in your freight charges. That's the freight side of things. I would encourage anybody who has questions about that, interest in exploring what that might look like for your business, come see us. Stop by. Our main office is out, like I said, at the Logan and Pure Land. Come by for a tour. We can show you what we do, what our capabilities are, take a look at your project and how we might be able to help you. Because we are a small family-run business, we like to say that we can customize anticipation. So if you got something off the wall, you're not sure if it'll work, bring it to us. We'll take a look at it and see if there's a way we can make it work. Part of being in the community as well is our Woodstown Central Railroad. I'm sure how many of you have heard the whistle or come and had a ride? It's quite a few. Very good. Thanks for riding. I would look forward to seeing you again. Woodstown Central started in the Village Pub, as a matter of fact. It was our current director of passenger operations, Paul. It was his 50th birthday, and Paul, Jeff, our owner, and I took him to lunch, and he said, that rail line in Salem County is pretty beautiful down there, and it was a great spot to have a tourist line. Interestingly enough, all 3 of us started our railroad careers in New Hope, in a tourist train over there. So Jeff was a little earlier than us, about 20 years earlier, but Paul and I first met 30 years ago now on the steam engine over in New Hope. So we're sitting there and say, that would be kind of cool. What could we do? What could we put together? And it morphed from our first passenger trains of just the diesel locomotive and a caboose with 16 riders on it going up and down the tracks. The load we have over there today, the number 9 steam locomotive that was rebuilt at our shops in Bridgeport. The rail cars, all rebuilt by our folks in Bridgeport. Wonderful job, really beautiful stuff. and four or five rail cars over there now. But you know, that's all part of being in the community is the brunch trains, the wine and cheese trains that are staffed by local wineries and restaurants and caterers, food trucks that come to our holiday market that we had every year over there in Vilas Grove. We really want to keep, you know, everything down to our board and stuff. We like to keep locally. Our print material is all done. It's all done here in South Jersey. Part of being a good resident are those types of things, and that's what we strive to do. And then again, if your business is something that has a synergy with that type of event, if you will, then please feel free to bring it in and take a look at it. We welcome any support from any local businesses, and we'll do the same. Support you through using your products and services. So that's us. And one more thing I would like to do. Carla Schuster is some of you know Kevin Eller, of course. He quit. You know, I know he retired at the end of last year. Carla is our new business development manager. So she's fresh. Came in with a 2 days ago. If you know about the unfortunate explosion up in Pure Land, that was her first day of work. So, welcome, Carla. But these are all the friendly folks of Salem County that you'll hopefully be interfacing with quite a bit. So, thanks everybody. It's great to be here.
Hello everyone, how you doing? So there's two people that wholeheartedly agree with Mike that all my ideas are not good ideas. One is my CFO, Nick, and two is Sean Brown, my man. All kidding aside, so Sean Sepsi and Sean Brown, two different Seans, very similar personalities. If you work with us, you know that I'm kidding. Sean Sepsi mentioned partnerships and collaborations and community partners, and the Improvement Authority is here to be a community partner. That's all we're here to do. So we are officially the Cumberland County Improvement Authority. So we do business in Cumberland County. That's where we grow up and do most of our business. The authority is now trademarked. But the reason we put the authority together, and you may have heard this before, is because we have businesses that were coming in from outside the country, and we're very concerned about the Tony Soprano syndrome and conversations with the government and what do we have to do with the government and how many paper bags we have to deliver to your office. So we just did it as a branding opportunity to get away from the big gigantic eagle emblem that we had that was previously Cumberland County Improvement Guard. So from our perspective, a lot of reasons we're working in Salem County. Number one is because Julie is a great partner and allows us to spend time here in Salem County. Number two, to be very frank with you, for those of you who are not aware, we had some issues in Cumberland County with respect to the authority and the autonomy of the authority and the things that we were doing in Cumberland County. And some folks who were in leadership didn't really want us to have the autonomy that we did and kind of stop the projects from happening in Cumberland County. So the Salem County commissioners, I haven't seen any of the commissioners today, but Ben and Mickey and the crew have been very supportive to the authority. And when we didn't have too much work in Cumberland County, they allowed us to come over into Salem County with Julie's cooperation to start the business in Salem County and drive projects. And then we teamed up with the mayor in Salem City. We have Fenley Plaza in Salem. And really what we want to do is create opportunities in Salem that benefit the city of Salem, obviously, but the county as well. Most of our work has been in Salem City. EV work that we're doing for the county at this point is Bay Street, Salem City. We're doing some work in Penn Road, but from our perspective, and what we've always done, the Improvement Authority, is we wanted to make smart public investments to drive private partnerships, and that's all we do. So the Fenley Plaza on the land bank that we're working on in Salem is really a function of us trying to make smarter investments in the community that are going to drive private investment. The public is not going to be able to fund and create the sustainability that we need in our community. Really, we need to be the catalyst, the improvement authority of the city, county, to initiate those investments, create those investments, those public investments that drive private partners. Without private partnership, without private investment, we're not going to succeed, bottom line. And one of the big issues that we had with what we're doing in the city, particularly around the land bank, and the land bank, so you know, is it's a mechanism whereby the city is able to transfer properties that are currently in its inventory, that are not properties that are not performing well and that are not paying taxes, transfer them to the land bank, and then the land bank essentially develops projects. And it's not a buy and flip situation. It's a strategy. It's a long-term sustainability strategy that needs a lot of time and energy and a lot of planning to accomplish. So I kid around about Sean Brown, and you know, Sean has his heart in the right place and really wants to make things happen. But there's a lot of frustration in our communities. Salem City is no different than the other communities that's in our region. You know, everybody wants to get to the next place very quickly. We haven't gotten here quickly, and we're not going to recover quick. So there's a push and a pull of, you know, what can we do to have small incremental wins along the way. And our first small incremental win was Fenwick Plaza. Our second small incremental win are the 6 units that are being built on Linden Street. We're working with the city now to acquire additional properties, to make additional public investment, to attract private partners for the table, to make sure that we're winning slowly but surely. And then along the way, we was Mike Gorman and his team. We expect to hopefully have a good announcement soon about the nursing school here. Obviously, he's got great ideas with respect to the athletic program and football program. There's a lot of good things happening in Salem. And Salem is very similar to Cumberland, right? Our demographics are the same, infrastructure is similar. You know, we have New Jersey American Water now. Here in Salem City, that's a big deal, right? Having someone to take over the infrastructure and knowing that we can call somebody on the phone when we need a new business to connect is a big deal for us in Salem City. So, yeah, our role, end of the day, my goal here was to let everybody know, calm down, take a deep breath. We're not taking over the world. We're just going to be part of the fabric of what's happening here in the city. We're going to make sure that we do smart things. We're going to make sure that we figure out what we need to figure out to get where we need to go. And we're going to attract more business here. I think, you know, you've had a lot of conversation in the past about the poor and the money that the state spent for. I believe wholeheartedly that they're going to have to get going. There's too much money that's been spent over there to let it sit. I do think there's going to be some traction with respect to that area that's going to generate jobs. Job generation creates opportunities for housing people on the street, creates opportunities for industry and small business, and that's how it all works. Slowly but surely, we're going to make this work. We're going to make this happen. We have several interested folks that want to be in Salem City. We have property, all right? So there's a lot of property in Salem City. If you're interested and you want to develop in Salem City, please see Dylan and Jody. Don't see me. Just kidding. Come see us. We love to talk to developers about getting some things done in Salem City. And I do believe very strongly that over the next 6 months to a year, there'll be a lot of announcements with regard to feet on the street and opportunities for jobs in the city that are going to generate more opportunities for all of us to create viability in Salem City. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Sean, for allowing us to play in your backyard. Julie, thank you for letting us play here in your backyard. We just want to be part of the team. We want to be the part of the partnership that's going to see Salem World really be what it should be at the end of the day. So thank you all very much.
I've known this individual for probably 40 years, although she's only 25. It's hard to put that together. But I'd like to call forward Julie Acton, Executive Director of Salem County Improvement Authority.
Good morning, and thank you, Jerry, for being a great partner to Salem County. I want to invite you out to the Salem County Improvement Authority's landfill. You might not think that you want to be there, like why would you want to be there? But it's sexy. Yeah, it is. So I'll take you up on top of the landfill. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene that I think you would be very impressed. And the landfill, when I take people up there, they'll put their nose like, I don't smell anything. That's because we run a really good landfill. So I would like to invite you to come see your landfill. I'm here to introduce the Salem County Improvement Authority's bond financing program. Think of this as more than a financial tool. It is a strategic engine designed to fund our community's essential projects at the lowest possible price. Our mission is simple: to enhance the quality of life in Salem County while minimizing the burden of our taxpayers by utilizing I am so sorry, I forgot my glasses. By utilizing the tax-exempt bonds, we unlock lower interest rates that are traditionally, I cannot read this, that traditionally financing simply can't match. Who can benefit? Our reach is broad. We partner with local governments and school districts, nonprofits, and affordable housing developers, and private redevelopers looking to invest in our future. What sets us apart? We offer a streamlined path to completion. With SKIAs, you get 0 down payments and rapid approvals, exemptions from cap restraints, and flexible repayment schedules, plus competitive fees and hands-on project management support. This isn't just a theory, it's proven. SKIA bonds have already powered Salem County Correctional Facility, the Findle State Office Facility, Friends Village up Woodstown, and the county radio system upgrade. These aren't just buildings, they are impacts to our community. At the end of the day, SKIA is here for you. We are partners in building a better Salem County. And let's discuss how we can fund your next project. Thank you.
And now we get to the panelists. Paper helps me an awful lot. From Carneys Point Township Economic Development, Chair John Bebo, if you'd step forward, please. Director of Housing and Commerce for the City of Salem, Sean Brown. And Pittsgrove Township Economic Development, Henry Caballano. Our panel is going to be moderated by the new owner of TD Bank. Where's Rob? Rob Bender.
So next news exciting.
Same here. Is Regional Vice President of TD Bank. Again, the panel is very knowledgeable, and Rob is going to steer it in a direction that's going to be most productive. I heard you own the bank.
I'm it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gorman. 3 years ago, we had a discussion at the Chamber to start an event. It evolved as the Bankers and Brokers event, and it's changed every year. And this year, we decided to move it to an economic forum, and we've changed the panel around a little bit. So I'm excited to get into the panel here. But what you're seeing and hearing is a lot about community and partnership. As Dr. Gorman had mentioned, I'm the regional vice president for TD Bank. And at TD Bank, we feel strong about community partnership and economic growth and supporting those initiatives. So today we have Sean Brown, John Vivo, and Henry Papiano to help us with some discussion regarding the three municipalities represented, which are City of Salem, Carneys Point, and Pittsgrove Township. So we're going to start off with a general question related to their respective municipalities. And if you could, each of you, we'll start with Sean. Just give us a quick pitch on your community. And I know Salem has a lot going on. So if you could just give us a quick pitch on your community and what attracts owners and developers to City of Salem, and then specifically what sets your area a little bit apart from other areas. And that could include redevelopment areas, tax incentives, abatements, transportation, et cetera. So Sean, you want to lead us off with that?
Sure. So first, thank you to the Chamber for hosting. Thank you to everyone for being here to hear this information. It's an honor to be on the stage here right now. So I'll get into it. So the City of Salem is in a unique position for several reasons. One, as you know, Salem is on a waterway. As you heard earlier, Salem has a railway. Salem has a port that will eventually be expanding by the year 2030. The rail line is something that the county has invested in expanding, working in partnership with SMS Rail. The glass factory, which has been there for a long time and empty too long, has a developer that's now working on making that site a commercial, likely industrial space. And because of the foreclosure process, where a lot of folks didn't take over the home and continue to pay taxes after maybe there was a death in the family for other reasons, the city happens to own hundreds of properties. And some of these are lots, some of these are structures, a lot of them are in bad condition and need development. And this poses a great opportunity for us to do a few things. So first, in March, during Women's History Month, I'm gonna acknowledge the person that brought me here, the visionary that's raised. We're managing 24 grants, which is a lot in a small city. It's a whole lot. There's a lot of grants that we have. There are a lot of programs that we're looking into. And I just want to acknowledge the mayor of the City of Salem, Dr. Jody Veller, here in the front row for Women's History Month, also the first woman mayor of the city, because without her leadership, without her ideas, without her fundraising, without her sitting through, I think it's 8 meetings a month when I do the calculations in the evening, I don't know if we would have gotten this far. She brought Jerry to the table and other organizations, and it really takes strong leadership and elected political leadership that's political will to make these things happen, and that's a part of it as well. Now, in terms of incentives and things like that, a portion of Salem is in the opportunity zone, and that brings one set of packages. NJEDA, who's here today, has a lot of grants that between Sean Sepsi, NJEDA, myself, we share with anyone that wants to be here. There's obviously programs and projects that you bankers have that we try our best to direct people to. We have NJHMFA programs for first-time home buyers that we direct anyone that wants to purchase a home to. We are continuing to work with Gateway and Operation Hope and other organizations to make sure that anybody that wants to have a home in Salem is able to have the best credit, have their access to financing. We work with the few nonprofit partners that we have, including Stand Up for Salem, who's here today as well. We work with developers who are, last year we sold properties to a few developers who are building new structures, who are fixing dilapidated houses. One of the things that the mayor has stressed, and she's absolutely correct to say this, is that we want to make sure that the city remains affordable. So one way to look at that is, let's see what we can do to make sure that the end purchase price of these homes, if it's for home ownership, is at or under $250,000. Right now on Olive Street, we have the first set of properties that we sold since I've been here that are on the market. One is about to sell for $189,000. There will be a family living in that house. So we have a group of consultants. We have partners at the state. We have partners with the county. A lot of us don't get a lot of sleep. We try to make sure we correct our mistakes when we make them. But the buzz is because there's been opportunity. First, there was a crisis. then there's an opportunity, then there was leadership, and now there's systems and structures in place to make these things happen. And we are going to continue to do our best to make sure that we're really able to resolve the biggest issue, which is that, as you guys probably know, building a new house on an empty lot is right now costs over $200,000, right? So how do we fill that gap when it's necessary? And we're going to continue to work on making sure that we have the right mortgage programs for folks, that if we do have more rentals, that we have the best landlords and the best tenants, and that we're holding our bad landlords accountable, and that we're literally cleaning the city up. With some of the grants that the mayor was able to get, we just knocked down 17 structures on Thompson and Carpenter and Senex and other places in the city that were really in really poor condition, and brought down the condition of the neighborhood. We're also working on our streets that have single family, nice homes already, that also has some empty places. We're working on doing that. So if you are a developer, if you are an investor, if you are a banker, if you are construction, if you want to build and you care about history, which the city is full of, and you want to help build the future, we are here. There's a team of professionals that are here to help you get through it. And I thank you for the investment and the interest that's been here in place, because 2026 is going to be a great year of implementation as we continue the process.
Great, excellent. Thank you, Sean. So now we're going to go to the other side of the county. We're going to go over to Pittsgrove. Over in Pittsgrove, you have some development opportunities happening. Henry, if you could just talk a little bit about those opportunities, and if you could further break them out into the residential and commercial components, that would be excellent.
Yes, sir. I'm guessing this is working. Are you looking for a job? You are. Whatever you're selling, I'm buying, because that was amazing. My name's Henry Papiano. I am a township committeeman in Pittsgrove. This is exciting to be here, and I thank everyone for listening. Pittsgrove is unique. We try to pride ourselves on being a farm community, and one of the items that I wanted to bring to the township when I decided to run and get involved in the economic development was, when people think of business, they think that farms are going to close and we're going to get rid of all the farmland and all the horses and cows are going to disappear. But everyone needs to understand there has to be balance, and we have to truly identify what we are. 50 years ago, Pittsgrove was probably a very viable farm community, but I don't think anybody's going to the local store to get the milk from the cow that lives in Pittsgrove at the local store. So yes, we need to stay true to our values of being a farm community, but what we forget is that Pittsgrove is unique in that we have a beautiful state park that I don't think gets advertised enough. We're bordered by two major highways that are primed for development that are still in Pittsgrove. So between Landis Avenue and Route 40, Pittsgrove's kind of sandwiched in very nicely, tucked in where people really don't know that Pittsgrove's in there unless you're going to a soccer tournament at Green Branch Park, which is also another great quality that we have for our community. We are in the same position as many other towns where we're looking for rateable tax dollars, but we have to find a way to do that in a balanced nature to make sure that everybody that lives there is happy with what we're doing. We have the same struggles that a lot of small towns have. We don't have city water, we don't have city septic. So trying to find those unique businesses that fit our model are going to be adding to the difficulty of bringing people in. But the opportunity and the space is there. There's currently 3 properties that the Economic Development Committee has a website that are listed. And we recently are going to be voting this week on an old property on Landis Avenue that was, I don't want to speak out of term, but more or less in a Superfund state that has been completely cleaned up through grants and is ready to be put on the market for sale. So we have a lot to offer. It's just trying to appease and make sure that we keep the community members happy without completely disrupting what we strive and pride ourselves on being a farm local community, but at the same time trying to utilize the resources that we do have and looking at the gems of Pittsgrove between the state park and Green Branch Park and the other things that we have to offer to try to find that right business model.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, next we have a three-time panelist.
Hey.
John, thank you. We really appreciate your participation as sort of third year in a row. Why don't you give us a little bit about what's happening in Carney's Point? I know you're very active, both as an official and as an investor and a developer. So, always interested in your insights. So,
Yeah. First, I want to start by saying that City of Salem doing a great job. Mayor's doing a great job. I'm an investor, a developer in the City of Salem. I put my money there, and I'm happy to see what's happening there. So that's great. Not only that, a lot of people don't know this, but the Nelson House Washington Hall was the first condominiums built in Salem County. That's kind of hard to believe, but they are, and they're all home ownership, along with Harvest Point, which is affordable housing rental. Carney's Point. Well, I'm pretty proud about Carney's Point. Carney's Point in 2002, under the State Planning Commission, was designated as a smart growth corridor. The state of New Jersey endorsed that corridor to be developed. And just last year, they reinforced that designation, basically telling us that what we're doing in Carney's Point is exactly what the state wants to see happen there. We're quickly, and I believe we are, the new economic engine for Salem County. We have a lot of jobs coming to Carney's Point. I'm going to make a couple announcements today. The warehouse that was built across from Roman Pantry on Route 48, Total Wine, is coming to that location. They're going to be creating 2 shifts of 48 jobs per shift, and closed on weekends there. And also a 3rd generation robotics warehouse for Amazon on Route 40, which is going to create about 750 jobs. So we're pretty excited about that. I only bring this up because I was involved in 2002 with that corridor, and to see it come to fruition is very exciting to me. A lot of these investors that are building these warehouses, they spent over $30 million of their own money to improve the Route 40 corridor in Carney's Point at no cost to the taxpayers of Carney's Point or anybody in Salem County. And the jobs that these warehouses are going to create are much needed jobs. And we talk about, I'm going to get a little bit on the soapbox here, we talk about farmland preservation. And I believe in farmland preservation. I believe that if people want to preserve their farm, they should absolutely do it. But they should also be allowed to sell their property. I'm a capitalist from head to toe. And I'm going to say to you that the reason why they're taking the opportunity to sell their properties is because they're making more money because of the state designation there. And because Carney's Point has water, sewer, and the infrastructure. This is the part of the county where this type of development should occur, and it's happening. And I think we're going to see the fruits of our labor here shortly when a lot of these jobs start to come out of these buildings. For instance, a lot of these jobs are offering benefits day one. They're offering college tuition to anyone that works for them for an in-state college, which is important. So they're telling these employees, look, you might be working a forklift in Amazon, but if you want to come to Salem Community College and get a nursing degree, we'll pay for it. And I think that's great for the county. And so we're very proud of what's happening there. The activity is happening. Quince clothing distribution, they came in. They took half a warehouse. Now they're taking the whole warehouse, and they're probably going to take the one behind them. Their business is booming. They're a California clothes distribution company, and they're busy here. And they're also coming here because they're coming to a very user-friendly atmosphere. We're trying to do everything we can to make them successful, to take a little bit of the soft costs out of their life when it comes to developing. Having to jump, it's hard enough to develop in New Jersey, just dealing with state regs. So the least we can do as a township is try to make the path forward a little easier to bring the investment. You know, a lot of these buildings are in the $200 million range. That's kind of investment they're putting here, and we're very happy to be part of it.
Excellent. Thank you, John. You talk a lot about commercial, and the thing that typically follows the commercial is the residential. Does anybody want to touch on residential expansion within the county?
I can. Sure. So that's exactly right. And it's a problem. Right now, our inventory in Salem County for sale is low. It's about 9% lower than it was last year in this quarter. And with these new jobs coming, right now we face the fact that a lot of these people that are going to be working here may be coming from outside of the county. And that's unfortunate. And I don't think that gives us a well-rounded economic development picture. That's why housing in Salem County is very important. New housing is very important. We want these people to live here, work here, and spend their disposable income here. We want them to spend it at my wife's flower shop. We want them to spend it at my pest control company. We want them to spend it with the local businesses here. That's why housing, as much as people don't like it, it's important and very much needed here. So I encourage the municipalities in Salem County to encourage new housing, because there really is a shortage. And believe it or not, a lot of people want to come to Salem County and live, but they just don't have the opportunities. Right now, our sales in Salem County, houses are the lowest time on the market right now, but our inventory is low. So that shows you how much of pressure there is for new housing market. And that's why, Sean, too, what you guys are doing in Salem is very important, and especially at those price points, because the people need that type of housing, need affordable housing. And I know a lot of people don't like that word, and I'm going to plug this too. I just finished an 88-unit apartment building in Carneys Point. We have over 400 applications. And these are people that work, by the way. They have jobs, or they're retired or on Social Security. But that shows you how much pent-up demand there is. So that's my opinion.
Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else want to touch on that?
The only thing that concerns me, and I'm all for the growth, and I would use your pest company, and if I had to buy a flower, I would. I truly am a capitalist as well, and think we need to keep that machine going. The one thing that concerns me is as more people move into our communities, and I know in Pittsgrove with our high school and our schools, as those numbers increase in the school districts, more teachers will have to be hired. I know medical benefits are going to be going up like 37% this year in some of the school districts. So there has to be some caution with a growth that is slow and steady, that is easy to maintain, because if we implode too quickly, the taxpayer is going to be the one hitting the brunt, and we could have an adverse effect on what we're trying to do. That's all I have.
So, okay. Sean, you want to add anything?
I would just add a little bit to what I said earlier in that, and keep in mind as I say this, I'm from Camden, that when I started in Salem, I admit, I never told Dr. Vella this, but I admit that I kind of believed the hype. That I thought that the city had a high amount of violence, and I get here, and the data shows this, my experience in the city shows it, that there isn't an issue with violence. I had concerns about the school district, and there's a new superintendent that started last year, shortly after I started, and she is bringing a new energy. And I see these young people on a frequent basis. I've spoken to them, and they're completely engaged. They are college-going young people. So I think that we have to be careful sometimes of the stereotypes that urban cities in New Jersey and across the country get. and we have to be data informed of what's going on, because as we market the city, we want families, and we want people that want to grow their families, and they have confidence that they can walk down the street, they can get a meal to eat and be okay. And I'm telling you, you will be okay. The only reason people ask me if I'm going to move to Salem, the only reason I haven't is because I don't want angry landlords knocking on my door. But other than that, this is there's and Saquon is here. Saquon created a documentary called Salem Rising. It's on YouTube. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, I recommend you look at it. Stand up, Saquon, so everybody can see you. And it does a really good job. You see the police chief on there and the superintendent and others talking about where we are. And this is a very intentional because the marketing campaign that Sean and the county have, More Than Cows, when you look at a map of Salem County, it makes sense where Salem is compared to where the Delaware River and the Salem River is. And this is a rural county. It's going to be a rural county, but it has its pockets of urbanism. And that pocket of urbanism is where we can attract people who live in probably the top 2/3 of New Jersey that are looking for affordability and looking for a place to raise a family and looking for a place to be safe. And Salem is one of those places.
Excellent. This is a great conversation. We can go on and on, I think, about why Salem County. But we're going to end with one question for each panelist. We'll start with Henry. If I'm a business or a developer and I'm coming to Pittsgrove, why Pittsgrove?
If you're a developer and you're coming to Pittsgrove, why Pittsgrove? Well, I can't sell the individual on public sewer, and I can't sell them on septic or public water or any of those things. But what I can sell them on is peace of mind and safety. I went to a college where we left our doors unlocked because it was in Virginia, and we never had to worry about anything being stolen. We don't have a police department. We have all volunteer fire departments. We have no trash pickup. So as far as all the other things that we would be able to provide, we'd probably be very weak on those side of things. But the one thing that people would feel comfortable with in Pittsgrove is that it's a very tight-knit, safe community, and they could feel comfortable with the locals. I mean, everybody's looking out for one another, almost to a fault with some of the Facebook things that I see. But, we definitely look out for one another in our town.
For sure. I follow that Pittsgrove talk site.
Yeah, be careful. They get you trapped in there. So
okay. Sean, what's your one-liner for the city of Salem?
This is the greatest opportunity in the state of New Jersey, and get in while you can.
That's it. There we go. John?
Well, I think I pretty much said it. Carney's Point's got water. We have sewer. We're in the smart growth corridor, and we're open for business. And that's why we're getting the business. And I do want to touch on just one last little thing. The affordable housing project that I just built in Carney's Point is 2 blocks from my house. I can live anywhere I want, anywhere. It's 2 blocks from my house. There's nothing, it has a stigmatism of crime, I hear, all these other things. No, if the person that owns it or develops it runs a tight ship, you're not going to have those problems. And so that's why my wife and I put our money where our mouth was and built it 2 blocks from our house. So when I hear you're building an affordable housing project and the whole area is going to get worse, like poor people or just bad people, it just bothers the hell out of me. It's not true. And to the point about building schools, well, you do have to build schools for kids, and you have to grow a town as a community, and that means everybody's got to pitch into that job.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Everyone, join me. Give a round of applause for us. Also, if we could give a round of applause to the committee, Chris Hooks, Christy, Lisa, and then if I forgot anybody, I apologize. The committee, as I mentioned 3 years ago, decided to this is a new initiative for the chamber, and I think each year it's provided some really good feedback, some great conversation, and really give some perspective on the county of Salem and what we have happening here. And I think it's been well received, and so let's give that committee a round of applause. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
But okay, we have Chris. Dr. Gorman is going to take us from here.
Good morning. I want to thank you all for coming. And I was taking notes. And Rob, you're right. Every year there's more information and more valuable information. So I just want to give you a quick recap. Community, partnerships, history. I love that. Opportunity, farms, smart growth, jobs, and Julie, I have to say sexy, because I did not expect to hear that word this morning.